Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now and you don't know me and you're new to my channel, I welcome you with open arms. I'm AspieAnswersAll, or Aspie for short, as I'm known as by others outside my channel and inside the channel with some people. Just a quick low rundown if you're new to my channel. Also, at this current time, I've been doing the Dear Letter series, just to different tips and advice along the way of basically, what we can do, just to create an awareness and understanding. Hopefully we can engage with each other one way or another with a non-judgmental way, non-criticizing way, because as we know that it can be hard for some of us just to reach out to others when we need a voice and advocate, or just a voice for the voiceless. So I'm one of them that's braving out, getting out of my comfort zone right now, regardless of my conditions that I've currently shared with you all so far in the pieces of my life journey with Asperger's syndrome and the like, and hopefully that we can just come on board and actually just support others, because that's what I want to do with this channel. Hopefully to support others and actually make sure that they feel safe, not being judged, criticized and the like. So as I said, these are the Dear Letter series. Some of these Dear Letter series that I'm sharing with you all will be on the Beauty from Ashes channel, basically, even though now it's created as a playlist, which obviously it doesn't mean to be there, but obviously I decided to do it anyway regardless. So without further ado, guys, before I begin, also for these Dear Letter series I've done, some of these are based on my life experiences or just food for afterthoughts, to share with you all what life is like with me, or just life in general, basically, of where I'm at this point of time in my life, so that hopefully that you guys can understand me more as a person. And also some of these Dear Letter series may look similar to a point where you have seen people engaging on the other channels that has done these Dear Letter series, be it, for example, like the dead past me or what have you, and they just write a little letter to themselves about things. So hopefully this will be an eye-opener and a refresher basically as well. Maybe, I don't know what the real reason is behind you guys, of the newbies that has been coming on my channel, but that's alright, because whatever reason, I'm just hoping that you're finding comfort, encouragement and some form of support from each other, because as I said, I'm not here about numbers of subscribers. I'm here to help people in general. I know it sounds a bit harsh for some people. That's a reality check here, that I notice in this day and age that many people, regardless of how small or big the channels are, they just want to go so big that their pride and ego gets in the way, how I've seen it. So no further ado, guys, basically there's got to be maybe at least an extra 2-3 parts to a couple of the Dear Letter series, which this one will be an open letter to those who worry too much, part 2. So basically it's going to be under, is there anything we need to actually worry about, basically, as the part 2 for you. So hopefully you'll enjoy, and as you got journeying with me, that this will be a bit of comfort to you. Let's begin. Dear to the ones that are worrying too much, or the open letter for why worrying too much. Is there something to worry about? Just remember, as I'm sitting here writing this to you or reading to you from my journal excerpts, that some of this is just a little key reminder for me as well, for these advices, or just my little afterthoughts. You can feel free to comment in that or what have you. But if you don't, like I said, feel to watch some of these videos, by all means, and there's no judgment call, or shall we say no hard feelings, so to speak. Everyone's entitled for what they want to watch and what not, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's begin before I lose track of time. As we know, we come face to face with many varying forms of stress each day, of whatever it may come in everyday situations that we face. Stress obviously affects us in a lot of ways, as we know, to the point that may make us not want to get out of bed in the morning, for example. Or another one is basically we just need to leave our class later on a particular rainy day, or just at the office, basically, or even just basically while we're leaving that class late. However, we head straight to a library or somewhere quiet for us to just either recuperate or really push ourselves to finish an essay or a report or some sort of assignment that is due the next following morning. Sometimes we don't mean to, however, put pressures on ourselves based on the everyday stresses. It just comes upon us, however. But as I said so many times before, It's just how we go about it in our everyday lives, regardless on our everyday choices as well of our stresses. Do we want to, crumble under the effect, as well as, the thinking capacity? Okay, as I said before, basically also you're in the office, in the mornings, if you're working in an office with a stale cup of coffee or tea, and the workload that you have in front of you, you're dreading right now, and you're thinking, this is never ending battle. It seems to keep piling up on you, while other people are leaving to go home at the end of the day. Maybe you want to check your bank account balance, or realise that there isn't enough time or in there to cover your, important stuff that you need to survive for that following month. Your credit cards are obviously maxed out, and you're stressing out so much. The core is, when am I next going to feed myself, or when am I next going to buy the next best thing? It goes without saying that there are many things that create worry in our lives. However, there is no shortage of stress in this world, but to worry about every little thing accomplishes very little, which I'm trying to learn now, despite my anxiety that I suffer from, even though, many people may look at me strangely, funnily enough, of how I go about things. You're probably hearing this out of my word of mouth or reading this, and you're worrying too much. It's often a lack of control that obviously prompts one of us from worrying, however. The afterthought that we don't have all the power or none of the answers that we really want in that day and age. Obviously, we suspect that we want answers on a platter straight there and then, regardless of what's going on, regardless of our everyday stresses. We tend to, question ourselves day in, day out. When is this going to end? So on and so forth. Worrying too much can do a great deal of damage in one's own personal life, regardless what it may be. We can maybe fracture a relationship or damage a relationship with those that are closest to us, be it our work colleagues, our family, friends, co-workers, or even just our loved one of our partner or boyfriend that we're living with, maybe. Sometimes many of us will tend to overly complicate the simplest of little things that we take for granted, however. We then become so worried that we retreat to the couch and try to forget about our other obligations or duties, pushing us into a far worse position than we were before. Throughout our lives, though, however, we will come across a great variety of things to worry about, as I shared. We worry about maybe school, money, jobs, kids. But sometimes we need to take a deep breath and realise that sometimes with all this worrying doesn't do anything for us. Okay, I'll be upfront and honest with you. I've had my bouts of anxiety coming and going, created by certain everyday stresses in my life. Who hasn't, really? Right? But I soon have come to realise that despite my anxiety attacks, panic attacks that runs on mid-ear leading up to full blast, were derived solely from a prolonged period of my worrying. For me, I was in a hunger for good grades, obviously trying to perfect my life by just, being the picture perfect kind of girl with basically, not just good grades, but just trying to please everyone in my circle. As I said before, not everyone's perfect. I've learned now too. But then it's usually cast into a dark place trying to get these, as I've learned in my years of living. 9 times out of 10, if my anxiety and all my other, diagnoses that I've shared with you, albeit my depression and all that, allows me, I would wake up early and go to sleep late. I would spend weekends maybe studying and reviewing most of my material back in the days when I was a student. But this worrying was for what exactly? A letter printed on top of a piece of paper saying an A+, B-, or what have you. It wasn't until I took a step back that I realised I was slowly killing myself with all the amount of pressure of worrying I was doing to myself and others around me. I look around today and realise that, a lot of people put a lot of, crippling amount of pressure on innocent people. We all want to find happiness somewhere in our life in some form of balance, but living in a society where success is thought to be zero-sum, all or nothing, we have come to believe that there's very little room for error for each and every one of us, however. I am here to tell you, as I've written this little afterthought for you, basically, that success shouldn't have to be based on our everyday grades if we're a student, based on a regular basis, that we should keep scoring A+, A-. or certain financial feats that we go through every day. Success shouldn't be about what job we get or how much we make in our earnings. Every day of living is a victory, no matter what it comes at us, no matter which way we might look at it too. This life is a fleeting, and to think that money and objects are what define success is really a hard-earned mistake. For all of my friends who worry as much as I do, sometimes it's important and necessary to look around and be thankful for what we already have, count our blessings, so to speak. We have friends and family who care about us, obviously, even if some of the friends and family that we feel that's left out in the dark doesn't care about us, you know. We have lasting and meaningful relationships, be it our co-workers, friends, family, boyfriend, girlfriend relationships, and the like. We have the opportunity to wake up every morning and every day to experience something new and different and learn something new and different from that experience. When we worry about the future, we can never fully experience the present, however. We shouldn't allow anyone to stand in our way to finding our happiness, including ourselves, because obviously we are our own worst enemy when it comes down to everyday stresses or everyday situations that comes and goes at us. As I said before, worrying too much can accomplish nothing. Worrying largely originates from a fear of failure, and I'll admit that I always had a fear of failure of some kind, be it my fear of failure of certain subjects I was taking in school, be it a fear of failure of just not being able to maintain my good grades. Yet to be afraid to fail is a accomplished way about living our lives. When we fail, we learn something about ourselves, however, which is a non-given. We learn that nothing is guaranteed in life, though, however. In certain situations aren't completed with hard work and dedication given both bits by us, by choice. When we worry so much that we refuse to fail, we never realise our weaknesses in the first place. Or we will never understand our own personal strengths. Without understanding our strengths, however, we have nothing to be grateful for. If you're reading this or watching my food afterthought I'm want to sharing with you today, basically, and have found yourself worrying, take a step back and look around at everything you already have. If you're worrying about failure, believe that failure can make you only stronger and wiser. It can only help you if you choose to let it help you. If you're worrying about school, class, maybe even money, recognise that most of it, or if not all of the things you were worrying about, can be replaced, however. We can't go on like this as a society or as a whole, as a person, about every little thing and every minor detail, however. We can't continue to feed this system. When we worry too much, we're not only hurting ourselves, but also our friends, family, and the rest of the community of ours. We're showing them that it's okay to worry about material goods and objects. We're also showing them that it's okay to take for granted our personal lives and our relationships with others. The next time we find ourselves slipping into a realm of paralysing self-doubt in ourselves, or just self-doubt of everything that is in ourselves, we need to only remember how great this world actually is and understand that every day is a new chance for our greatness to thrive. We need to recognise that we can never fully enjoy everything in this world that has come to offer us if we continually suffer and worry about meaningless things. Well, basically that ends part 2 of, why worry so much, to the leaders of the ones that worry too much. Give me the delightful thumbs up for support right now. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, as I'm saying, that it may be on a daily or even at least in a daily now. But I'll be around to, answer people's emails versus, everyday, comments or messages privately. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to also just share the videos to family and friends that you feel that some of these videos is of use to them. So in all further ado, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for the support. I'll see you all again soon.